Hello. Today I am reading Beloved. It is basically just 5 times where Tsukishima is soft to you and 1 time where he doesn't care that everyone else sees. Obviously, this is a Tsukishima KX listener, and so I hope you enjoy. Number 1. In the middle of the night, his eyes still blurred by sleep and lack of glasses, when the world is watercolor haze of shapes and softness, he feels you tug away from him from where you were curled up against his chest, shifting under the blankets. He groaned and tried to pull you back. "Kay, what are you doing?" "Don't go. I was warm." There was a whine in his voice that you were certain he never let anyone else hear before. Well, no one other than you and the silent, watchful moon swaying low in the mid-autumn night. "I'll be back. I need to pee." "Well, pee quick," he says, his voice gravely from sleep as he shoved his face into the pillow and tried not to mourn the U-shaped emptiness in the bed next to him. He wonders briefly how he lived so many years, slept so many nights just by himself in this bed, his body and no one else's to keep him warm. He counts backwards from 20, knowing that by the time he gets to about 7 or 6, you'll be crawling back under the blankets, nuzzling into his sides. He gets to 8, 7, 6. There, see? You shimmied your way back into his arms, and he sighed a sigh of what could be misconstrued as exhaustion, but you knew him well enough to know it was nothing short of absolute content. "Ugh, sleep," was the only mumble reply as he again buried his face into the soft bend of your neck and breathes. Number 2. Out shopping, even though he made sure to make a fuss about not wanting to go, about how it was nothing more than a pointless endeavor and only contributing to the economic monster that was capitalism. But the way you pressed the sundress against your front in front of the full-length mirror, the light in your eyes, the bright smile playing on your lips, it stirred something inside of him. It inspired quietly. It inspires admiration. You spin around, laughing, clearly delighted that you caught him staring. "What do you think? Do you like it?" Tsukishima pursed his lips, schooling his expression back to the frown as he scoffed and cast his eyes up towards the ceiling. "It's all the same to me." "Aw, come on, you don't mean that," you say, twirling around and tugging at the dress, contemplating if it was worth trying on. "Sure it is. I mean, I like whatever you're in anyways, so." And silently, he thinks that the way you blush at his words was worth the trip, and all the bags he had to carry along the way. Number 3. Over strawberry shortcake with 2 steaming caramel lattes. You hummed happily to yourself as you snapped one picture after another of the delicious-looking assortments. "Camera eats first," you declared, snapping your phone shut and reaching out for the fork. You paused over the pastel pink of the shortcake, decorated with 3 glistening strawberries, the soft white cream light as clouds. You bit your lip. It's almost too good to eat." At this, Tsukishima sighed, reaching out, stabbing straight through the strawberry, despite your squeak of indignation and alert. He wordlessly pressed the strawberry to your lips, smirking to himself as he watched the buttercream smear across your mouth before you had the sense to open it and take a bite. It's good." I'd hope so. It was 2,000 yen. Tsukishima scooped another bite for himself before pausing. His eyes caught on the sweep of your tongue across your lips as you tried to catch the remaining cream, and thoughtlessly, almost as if driven by nothing more than instinct and that strange animalistic magnetism, He leaned forward and swept his thumb across your lips before pressing the excess into your mouth. You slowly closed your mouth around his thumb, and he feels the slight pressure of your tongue against his skin. He swallows. You suck, letting his thumb go with a slight popping sound as it leaves your mouth. Later, caught just outside the cafe, his fingers curl into your hair, tilting your head up to meet his. Tsukishima thinks that there are some things, perhaps like strawberry shortcake, that are too lovely to not devour. And then, there was some things. Perhaps like your lips. Entirely too lovely not to. Number 4. After practice, when the moon hung heavy in the midsummer sky, and the birds were singing so loud that it could shake loose the stars, Tsukishima laid back against your legs, his head falling onto your lap as you reached down and slipped off his glasses. "So, how was training camp?" you asked, tracing your index finger along the high bridge of his nose. "Tiring. The little orange dolt thought it would be a good idea to break in." "Break in?" "Yeah. He just showed up and, I don't know, prayed that no one would notice that he wasn't invited. Idiot." Your laughter is summer sweet and full-bellied. It has you tipping back on the couch with your fingers still tangled in Tsukishima's slightly shower-damp hair. It's not funny." Tsukishima twisted around, frowning hard enough for you to burst out into another fit of giggles. Reaching out forward, running your thumbs along the ridges between his furrowed eyebrows. "I mean, I think it's pretty hilarious. That takes some balls, doesn't it?" Tsukishima huffed, swiveling back around, shoulders hunched as he grabbed the remote and clicked on the TV, switching through channels at the speed of light, his glasses laid forgotten on the sofa next to you. Or he's just too stupid to think about consequences. You reached forward with an indulgent smile, looping your arms around his wide shoulders. "Oh, come on. Cut him some slack. Not everyone can be as tall, handsome, and talented as you are, right?" you say, nuzzling into his cheek even though he swats half-heartedly at you. "Quit it." You giggled, hugging him all the tighter until he spun around, pinning your wrist above your head with a speed not usually associated with someone of his height. He hovered over you, his head cocked to one side. "Oh yeah? And what are you gonna do for your tall, handsome, talented boyfriend to make him feel better after such a stressful day at camp, You hiccuped, lashes fluttering as he bared down at you. Suki." Wrong answer. 2 more chances." You press your lips together and glare at him with what you hoped would be a reproachful air. Tsukishima only smirks, shaking his head even as he bends down and presses into your space, your chest pressed together and his body covering yours and then some. His lips brush the lobe of your ear, and he revels in the way you shiver. Fine line between stupidity and courage, I'd say. Don't you agree? Number 5. Before the game with Shiratorizawa, his brand new glasses and his head bent low. "Don't be scared," you say, reaching down and linking his fingers with yours. They're so long, so strong, the palms peppered with calluses. Tsukishima scoffs. "I'm not scared." You smile, rocking up onto your tiptoes and pressing a gentle kiss onto his lips, luckily tucked behind a large colony around the corner of a deserted corridor no one is there to see. "You're not a very good liar," you say, falling back down onto your heels, peering up at him as he stares down at you with slightly narrowed eyes. Then he bends forward and traps you against the colony, his breath hot against your lips. And you're gonna make me late for warm-ups. He pulled back last second, leaving you breathless. But the smile that dangled from his lips was less sarcastic than usual. He reached up and flicked your forehead when you made no move to follow him. I'm not scared. I'm nervous, but I guess seeing you in the stands would make me feel a bit better. You bit your bottom lip, linking your hands behind your back. Well then, what are we waiting for? Number 6. After the Shiratorizawa match, when everyone was still running high on adrenaline, puffy-eyed with happiness, you bounced down to meet him, skidding to a halt just outside the giant gymnasium doors. There was bandages around his fingers, sweat dripping down the tip of his nose. His cheeks pink with exhaustion, but his eyes are clear and bright and wanting. Guess you didn't have any reason to be nervous after all, you say, trotting up to meet him as the rest of the team parts around the pair of you like water around a river rock. Yamaguchi glances over his shoulder even as he herds Hinata and Kageyama away, the pair bickering over this and that. Tsukishima crinkled his nose, his eyes narrowing at the sight of the redness beneath your eyes. He reaches up his uninjured hand and traces along the dry tear tracks along your cheeks. What are you crying for? You sniffled, shooting him a glare. Just because you weren't scared doesn't mean I wasn't either, but you won, so that's all of that. He quiets you down with a kiss, standing there in the open gymnasium hallways, all the chatter of 100 students boobling around you. Distantly, you could swear you heard Tanaka whoop, only to be cut short by the sound of Sugawara smacking him painfully upside the head. Tsukishima frowns as he pulls back. You know, I'd prefer if your mind wasn't on other things when I kissed you. What? I wasn't. His lips thinned into a trademark smirk as he tugged your chin towards him with 2 fingers. His hold was more gentle than it looked. Seems like you're not a very good liar either, but I guess I don't really mind that. Your retort dies on your lips as he leans back down again. This time, you didn't think about how the pair of you were standing in the middle of a very visible hallway and how people were probably starting to stop and stare. This time, you kissed him back like nothing else in the world mattered except for his lips and how perfectly soft they were on yours. Okay, I hope you enjoyed. This was super cute. Sorry, I literally said I was going to be back to posting regularly. I posted like 3 videos and I was like gone out of nowhere. I kind of just like got caught up in everything that I was doing. It is summer and I'm, like going back to school pretty soon. So I think I'll be fine with the posting. I don't know if it will be every day like I was doing for a little while, but I'll post whenever I get the chance. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Have a good day, night, evening, whatever. I love you guys so much. Goodbye.